saying that within the short period that we have operated, first as PMMC and now as Goldbod, we've exported close to 50 tons of gold as we speak. And that is gold from just the small scale sector. And for the first time in Ghana's history, gold export from the small scale sector has exceeded gold exports from the large scale sector, showing clearly that the small scale sector is a very important and critical sector. Because na se wo se obi to gold kwan bone so we need license. Wo se obi to gold na gold no fa kwan paso no de kwa ma no ne they are smuggling the gold no boy amane. On the 8th of July, Goldbod tax force no mampenyi be pa wontoma ye the two free lines be to dwa ye the whistle blowing policy be to dwa de chire nyina ne se nyese wodi nkonkonsa. But se okohu se obi say o man no e wo go da dwuma mu to gold kwan bone so we need license on famra kwan so emfa gold ni kwa ma no ne na o man ni hwiri sika na boy amane a ye be bo ho ban na ye be san so ayiwaye be san so ada wase sika fam a ye sika mu eduru ye pa wo so be hu se information a wo de man no wanya so mfa so enti saa nyema ni nyina Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the media, on behalf of the Ghana Goldbod, I would like to welcome all of you to our head office. We've had to call this press conference at such short notice because of the need for us to update the nation and by extension our partners involved in gold trading in Ghana about the ongoing transition of the licensing regime governing the gold trading sector of Ghana. As we all know, Ghana is endowed with huge gold resources as a country. As we speak, Ghana is the lead exporter of gold. And this important mineral resource we've been endowed with by God has to be harnessed properly for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. What the deadline means is that if you do not have a Goldbod license as we speak today, you cannot legally buy or trade in gold in Ghana. So all you have to do is to wait, apply for the license, be issued with a license before you engage in gold trading. If you flout this important legal provision, you will be committing a very serious offense. And I want to address our minds to Section 63 of Act 1140, the Ghana Goldbod Act 2025, which says that a person shall not buy gold from a person in the country unless that person has been issued with a license by the Goldbod. And when you are issued with a license, it comes with terms and conditions. The terms and conditions can be gleaned from our website. Every category of license comes with its own unique terms and conditions. Every license also comes with its own requirements. And we have put in place appropriate measures to ensure continuous compliance with these. By the 21st June deadline, we have received over 300 applications for the buyer license tier 1. We have received close to 200 applications for the license buyer, the buyer license tier 2, and about 30 applications for the self-financing aggregation license. For the aggregator license, we have received about 15 of them. As we speak, management, with approval of the board, has approved over 240 licenses. But once the applications are approved for conforming with the requirements of the licenses, we need to now do it digitally by sending you an email that your license has been approved. You also get that in your account, because the Goldbod license application platform ensures that every applicant creates an account before they apply for a license. So you get the notification that we have applied, and we have saying that within the short period that we have operated, first as PMMC and now as Goldbod, we've exported close to 50 tons of gold as we speak. And that is gold from just the small scale sector. And for the first time in Ghana's history, gold export from the small scale sector has exceeded gold exports from the large scale sector, showing clearly that the small scale sector is a very important and critical sector that, as the president said, if properly harnessed, can really help the development and the transformation we all seek for our beloved country. And that is why he has established the Ghana Goldbod. And so we will not let the people of Ghana down. When you hear that we have exported over 50 tons of gold, because this month alone we are doing almost 9 tons of gold, then you know that this month alone we brought in nothing less than $900 million in forex for the Bank of Ghana. And so if the Bank of Ghana has enough forex liquidity for the market and for government obligations, and the CD is strong and stable, it is because of some of these things that the Goldbod is doing. And we hope to sustain this. You know that in the whole of 2024, gold exports for the whole year stood at 66 tons, with an export value of $4.6 billion. We've done only 6 months, and yet we've crossed the $4.6 billion we got for the whole of 2024. We've crossed it. We've gone beyond $5 billion. And in terms of the volumes too, we are almost getting to 66 tons. We've done 50 tons and over. And we are optimistic that by the end of the next month, we would have hit the 60 tons. And we are doing all this so that we cut out the activities of enemies of the state, the criminals who have decided to engage in gold smuggling and deprive of our nation of the needed revenue for development. You've asked a very important question, and it is something that we've thought of. And so we have to, we put a lot of measures in place to serve as checks and balances, and to ensure that the members of the task force we are going to deploy with so much powers will not end up betraying the state, abusing their powers, engaging in extortion, bribery, and the rest, and encouraging the very vice they are supposed to fight. Because like you said, we've seen it in other areas, particularly in the fight against illegal mining. So what have we done? We are deploying technology to ensure that we check the members of the task force. Now, the Goldbod Act prescribes that Goldbod inspectors and any task force that we put in place, they cannot go to anybody's office, to audit them or to check what they are doing, okay, without a written warrant signed by the chief executive officer. So you can't be on a frolic on your own, gallivanting around Ghana and harassing miners and gold buyers and all that because you're a member of the Goldbod task force. You need a written warrant. And if a member of the Goldbod task force or a Goldbod inspector comes to you without a written warrant signed by the chief executive officer, you must report him to be sanctioned. Again, is a certain amount of cash and coming under declare. And as part of the task force are also members of the Gold Inspectorate who are not task force members. So somebody said, who watches a watchman? There are checks and balances, some technology-based, some administrative, to make sure that, you cannot totally eliminate such tendencies, but we must make sure that we are able to control it to its various various level. So that is what we seek to do. By the time we inaugurate the task force too, would have been through with our whistle blowing policy on illegal gold trading, gold smuggling, and other gold related offenses. We are developing a policy. Our toll-free lines are ready, and I'm sure on the 8th, the president himself will put out the toll-free lines. And so any Ghanaian citizen who suspects or sees or come into contact with information that shows that a person is engaging in illegal gold trading or gold smuggling has a duty to report that to the Goldbod. And we are making that easy by providing the toll-free lines. Even if you think that the people involved are our own officers, you can do so. And the policy will ensure that your anonymity is protected and guaranteed. And there will be motivational incentives in place for anybody who accurately reports the activities of illegal gold traders and smugglers, and which reports lead to arrest and seizures. Once we arrest and seize, and the law says within 7 days we should go to the Goldbod tribunal and validate the seizure. And once the seizure has been validated, we can do the needful by confiscating. And once we confiscate, a certain percentage of the value of that gold will be given to that whistleblower. If it's a media person, then that money may be enough for you to quit your media career, because you know that gold is a very high value commodity. So a very significant percentage of the value will go to whistleblowers and the task force that are able to execute such operations and arrest the perpetrators of those crimes. So we are combining technology, checks and balances, you know, whistleblowing and incentive packages and other administrative measures to ensure that we are able to defeat the canker of gold smuggling, illegal gold trading, and price disruptions in the market, which are inimical to the national interest. Are there any more questions?
Which makes the space meant for Ghanaians. There are no foreigners involved. But in this country, we have a situation where foreigners engage in an activity but make local people front it whilst the operation is being conducted by the foreigners themselves. So I want to find out from you, what is your outfit going to do to ensure that the foreigners don't get involved in it at all?
Well, it's all about how I'm telling you that it's going to be very strong. We're going to be very strong on the ground, on the quiet, gathering information about these activities. Because even as we speak now, we know a lot of Ghanaians who are fronting for Indians and foreigners. A lot of them, they are in Takwa, they are in Anyinem, they are in Kumasi, they are in Obuasi. We know them. Foreigners, most of them have gone into hiding. Just a few ones are still in the system, and we are on a headhunt for them. But even those who have gone into hiding and have gotten some unpatriotic Ghanaians to front for them will be exposed. It's just a matter of time, because the intelligence gathering system we are deploying is very strong, and we are going to see that. And the law provides for very stiffer punishment for Ghanaians who engage in fronting. Ghana, Maya, Unyame, Weshrayan Unyame Adome, Sika Koko, if we Yananomo Penso, Sika Koko, Abwa May Pa, by Yina, Yabaya Adrense. And Faswa, I wasn't called mining your free Sikakoko when I made the Adomiano. And now they are yet to me and ya Mududona. Isan said, the two Sikakoko only free from we are. A choir, ya faso tono. If we am letting be seen there, a buying shed and find any near tree. And your own share ye send a bear or mind being as well faso. And it too a former good year. Na yama ipabonifu bi to na no abrofo ebi so Ghana fo na ma fakwati kwan so atogo na omo fa kwan paso kra export na omo dia fa Togo border ana omo dia fa Cote d'Ivoire sika na kwa emma eto so wo se yantimi gifri wo de your mind yesu enya den emma within 60 days now zaka we mpo dia ya den tentem so eni bu so me over 200 of those licenses 240 yagia to about emu baako ya aggregator, emu miensa ya self-financing aggregators, emu do working you 82, tier 2 buyers, tier 1 buyers, emu 34, tier 2 buyers. Menemo kasa ni monimu ya yetimi issue licenses baby. Licenses so issue and abua ma Goldbod enye sika kakra.
ɛno nti nipa bebree nsa aka license no asɛ boso me nsa aba da nipa bebree nsa aka license ne dia na deɛ yɛntimi ntɔnkɔ so sɛ ɔmo ni Goldbod license no ɔmo ne ɔmo wɔ license ne nyina nkɔ so nyɛ adwuma no ɛneɛ sɛ saa nanka yɛbɛyɛ a na ne hu hia akora sɛ yɛma obi kɔgye license yɛpɛ sɛ obi adi mmara so nti na ɔmo adi mmara so ne nyɛ adwuma no so mfa so nti no ɛnɛ yɛbɔ obi akɔkɔ sɛ license ne deɛ sɛ wo mɛgye a ɛyɛ wawasɛm time a wopɛ bia bɛtumi abɛgye woba so a na wo qualify ho a yɛde bɛma wo yɛnhwɛ wo party a wofiri ma na afie a wofiri ma na wo din once you qualify now you Ghana ni nko ade a yɛde license ne bɛma wo however there's only license as we speak sisi a yɛka sɛ we need license there ɛne ɛwo ntimi ntogo wotogo da watomra na mmara no so kyerɛ sɛ woto saa mmara na wobɛtumi akɔ afiase mfie num ekosi mfie du nti ɛyɛ offense a ɛho asotwe no ɛyɛ asotwe kakraka paa na yɛmpɛ sɛ yɛde saa asotwe wɔ ebedi Ghana ni bia ɛno nti yɛbɛsrɛ sɛ obiara ebedi mmara no so na sɛ wayɛ wadwen sɛ wohyɛ tokuro bi mu na woto gold nti sɛ woni license kora yɛ nhu a ɛne yɛ tu ho fu yie because yɛ tax force a yɛka ho asɛm no ɔma yɛ ready na yɛ train ɔmo they've gone through rigorous military training that was to travel military camp for 2 to 3 weeks and even as we speak we are training them and they are enough to cover Ghana nyina akade ɔmo hie nyina so yɛde ma ɔmo na umetimi aye adwuma yie ama Ghana nya so mfa so and that task force no intelligence team akuaku a yenhwehwemu akuaku a ede wona soto form egegege information abade yakoso go gold adwuma ni mu bia nti sɛ ofiri sɛ wodi bone ewe sumase a you go down because enche kra no from ebebo ama akokoto ada ho ama wada pa adadi eno nti ye besrew sɛ famra kwanso because ye so mu a opanyi bia ni wa obetumi afrɛ sɛ yenyae wa yebegyae mmra no ne obedi no nyonyo because o mampanyi ankasa na ebo ye chidom sɛ yem nyeme bia no wa de wanya na seed no etimi egina brane enti momwa ye na wo boa yen a wo boa wankasa oho because ye no ye e de amma ye nyina na sɛ wo hu sɛ obi to gold kwanbɔne so woni license wo hu sɛ obi to gold na gold no fa kwampa so na ode kwa manone they are smuggling the gold no wa boy amane on the 8th of July Goldbod tax force no mampanyi be pa wontoma ya the two free lines be to dwa ya the whistle blowing policy be to dwa de akire nyina ne sɛ enye sɛ wodi nkonkonsa but sɛ wokohu sɛ obi ɛsɛ ɔman no wo gold adwuma mu to gold kwambɔ so ni license on famra kwan so emfa gold ni kwa manone na ɔman ne hwiri sika na wobɔ ya mane a ye bɛbɔ ho ban na ye bɛsan so ayiwaye bɛsan so wada wase sika fam a ɛyɛ sika mu eduru yie pa wo so mehu sɛ information a wo de maye no wanya so mfa so enti saa nyema ne nyina ye de betudwa on the 8th of July e fa saa akonya yi so e de invite centralfo nyina sɛ mobetimi abadwumade ani bi no mampanyi behwe monim na Ghana for so e de o maso afam ye saa da no na enhyehye ye ka Goldbod tax force no woni kwan a ye fa so ene saa gold smugglers ni illegal gold traders ya ba be di no nyonyo no e de ni nyina ato mu na minim sɛ moboa ye ni nyina ye kan ho bomu a ye be di saa how isu nkunim ama o my Ghana afa de to my preference ya da mu nyina mo ase